the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot at time.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here with the Elite Racing League Join APS.com Cup Series as they present the Iowa 200 right here at, you guessed it, Iowa Speedway, smack dab in the middle of the cornfields. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sit on down, strap in tight, and hold on as we are getting ready to see 200 laps of outstanding racing here tonight as these cup drivers for the Elite Racing League are going to put on a heck of a show for you tonight. My name is KR Solfus, and I will be your host for the remainder of tonight's event. Hope you all are as excited as I am for this, because it is one of my favorite tracks on the iRacing service, and Iowa has never disappointed in the show-making abilities. We get ready to get into qualifying as practice is wrapped up. We get too far into qualifying. Want to point out our point standings. This is the first race in the chase. Round number 1, race number 1 coming your way. 14 drivers going for 4 spots. I'm sorry, not 4 spots. Well, I guess it is 4 spots at the end of this thing, but everyone in the chase, starting with 1,000 bonus points and then some seed points sprinkled in. You can see our point standings, all 14 drivers very close to each other. Chad Frankenfield with the most points at 1,039. Then Joshua Personette sitting right at 1,000 points. But qualifying is underway. Let's get right to it as we have several drivers rolling out on the track right now. The 25 machine, that is Joshua Furr. He is on track. Ooh, almost got in the wall there. Gonna have to shut it down. Did not like his entry for that first lap. The 3 machine of Scott Haney out on track. Haney looking solid right now. Scott Haney had that wild finish at Atlanta. Almost won the thing as he was coasting. He had ran out of fuel to the start-finish line. Chad Frankenfield with enough fuel to make it to the end of it. Just got him in the last few feet. But the 3 machine of Haney currently in 4th place. '15 machine of Chad Frankenfield out on track, our points leader for the moment. The 32 machine of Dustin Dewar shuts it down, logged his lap time. The 83 of Stephen McGough out there. In 6th for the moment. A little bit there. Hard into the wall that time. Jared Rexing in the 10, out turning his qualifying lap time. Have just a few other cars that are out on track. Andrew Rucker in the 64 also making his appearance. As we are going to step away for a moment,
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what so proudly we hailed at the Tullus fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go through our starting lineup for tonight's event here at Iowa 200. Row number 1 brought to you by Join APS Cup Series. Chad Frankenfield in the 15, putting it on pole with the 19 of David Tooker on his outside. Row number 2, the 12 machine of Damian Leininger and the 25 of Joshua Furr. Row 3 is the 64 of Andrew Rucker and the 23 of Chuck Sweeting. Row number 4 will be the 31 of Gerald Campbell and the 42 of Thomas George. Row number 5 will be the 26 of Tyler Riggs and the 28 of Joshua Clark. Row 6 will be the 41 of Dallas Myhan and the 83 of Stephen McGough. Row 7 will be the 7 machine of Josh Personette and the 86 of Ethan Reasoner. Row 8, the 20 of Shane DeMantova and the 89 of Brent Jones. Row 9, the 3 of Scott Haney and the 32 of Dustin Dewar. Row 10, the 95 of Josh Adams and the 11 of Matthew Weeks. Row 11 will be Jared Rexing in the 10 machine and the 87 of Richard Hines. That will be our starting lineup for tonight's Iowa 200. Chad Frankenfield in control of this field. Driver's going to get an extra warm-up lap here at Iowa. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go green flag racing next time around. Frankenfield with 3 wins on the season, 2 in a row leading into this chase, so he is entering on a hot streak. Iowa 200 here will be the first race in the Elite Chase Round 1. We get ready to go green flag racing. The pace cars down and away, and Chad Frankenfield gets on the throttle, and we are green here for the Iowa 200. David Tooker slides in right behind the 15 machine as Frankenfield out to an early jump. Little tight coming off the corner there, got very close to the wall. Looks like he had to lift a little bit. Tooker in the 19 trying to make a move to the inside. Nothing there just yet. Front rows running side by side here, as now the 25 of Ferb with the run on the outside trying to make something happen. And the caution flag coming out very quickly. We have a huge stack up in turn number 1. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened. The 42 of Thomas George getting involved. 83 of Stephen McGough involved as well. And the 26 of Tyler Riggs getting into the back of the 42. 83 of McGough with nowhere to go but into the wall. We go on board with the 83. It looks like Tyler Riggs just got in a little hot. 4 cars piling in here. The caution flag coming out early. Several drivers already making their way onto pit road. The 95 of Adams gonna be the first one. Brent Jones in the 89 machine also on track. Heavy damage on that 89. I should say on pit lane. Jared Rexing in the 10 also there. 6 cars making a pit stop this time. The 15 of Frankenfield. Your race leader. With the caution flag flying very early, just a few drivers not involved in that incident coming down pit road. Everyone else hammering out some damage. With Frankenfield staying out front. Wonder if maybe he is trying to send an early message. Qualified on pole. Came into tonight's event on a hot streak, as I mentioned, winning last 2 races leading up to this round 1 of the chase. That 15 machine once again with a solid car underneath him. The 19 of David Tooker looking like he might have something to say about this as well. Tooker part of the Pro Edge Racing. Frankenfield a driver for 90 Motorsports. Do want to point out the 11 of Matthew Weeks missed the start, was having some computer problems leading up to the start of the event. Now joining the race for the first time, so the 11 machine out on track. Glad to see that the 11 able to make it. But once again, tough break for the 11 of Matthew Weeks. He's going to join this race already 5 laps down. Still very early. That 11 is going to need a lot of help from some cautions to get back on this lead lap. Trent Jones, another driver who is 1 lap down after this incident. We have 20 cars out on the lead lap, 22 cars on the track. Chris Jordan, a qualifying time, but has not been able to join the race just yet. Let's see if Jordan can find a way out here tonight as the pace car is down and away. Frankenfield on the throttle just as fast. And with a good jump, that 15 machine is going to enter turn 1. Free and clear the 25 of Ferg, going to make a pass to the inside of Tooker. And now David Tooker falling to 3rd, but he's going to try and get a run down the backstretch. Nothing there just yet. He stays to the high side. Meanwhile, business is very busy for everyone behind Tooker. The 12 machine of Damian Leininger to the inside of Andrew Rucker. Now Rucker diving down to the inside of Tooker. Side by side off of turn number 2, Tucker. Sorry, that was a combination of those two. Andrew Rucker in the 64 on the inside, Tooker in the 19 on the outside. And the 64 had to lift a little bit. That's going to break his momentum up. The 31 of Gerald Campbell rounding out your top 5 right now, finding himself right smack dab in the middle of that battle. And everyone's starting to get single file for the moment. Dane DeMantova down on the bottom here as he's trying to make a move on the 3 of Scott Haney. Haney's going to power up and get a run on the outside. Here comes the 10 of Jared Rexing. Rexing, who was on pit road, taking full advantage of those fresh tires. But right now he is being held up as there is a side-by-side battle going on in front of him. But now Jared Rexing in the 10 to make the move here to the inside. Nothing coming up off the corner. That is going to be a difficult move to make all night long on the inside, coming up off of turn number 4. Drivers in that high lane working their way off of 4 are going to have the advantage. They'll be able to put the power down a lot better. Who is the 3 of Haney is going to get sideways. And now he's going to collect the 32 of Dustin Dewar. And we're going to get our second caution of the night. And Dewar in the 32 has some damage on it. Go off the nose of the 32 machine as we go to our turn 3 instant replay. And that looked like a huge bit of net code off the 20 and the 3. Take one more look off the nose of the 20 machine. We go on board with DeMantova. But drivers coming down pit road. Tires being very important here tonight. As you can see, the entire field is coming down pit lane. Joshua Clark in the 28, he is going to stay out. And right now, Clark credited with leading his first lap of the race. Trent Jones in the 89 machine, keeping the wave around. But 4 tires the order for everyone. Down and away they go. A 15 winning the race off of pit road. And now Clark is going to make his way on the pit lane. Clark wanting to be credited with a bonus point for leading a lap. Clark came into tonight's event second place in the point standings for the Elite Chase round number 1 as the 28 brings it to a stop in his pit lane. Joshua Adams in the 95, who also has not made a pit stop just yet. We saw him come down pit road under the first caution. Not sure if we'll see him hit pit lane this time or what his plan is. But the 95, it looks like he is going to stay out. So the 95, gonna try it on older tires. Gotta be careful on the restart when you stay out on older tires. Now granted, tires aren't that old. This Cup car has a lot of torque to it, very easy in the rear tires. When the leader on a restart spins the tires, bad things can happen to people behind him. Field will stack up very quickly. And it's just chaos and mayhem all over the place. Lights go out on the pace car. Adams electing the inside lane. Frankenfield in the 15 on the outside. 15 having 4 fresh tires. Adams in the 95. Just a few lap older tires. We'll see how this works out. Pace car down and away in the 95. Beautiful start out of the 95. And Adams is down and rolling. Clearing into turn 1, Tooker and the 15 of Frankenfield on the outside. Joshua Furr in the 25 machine to the inside of Frankenfield in that 15. We'll see if those 4 fresh tires are going to do anything with that 95 as your race leader. Burr in that 25 machine losing a little bit of ground here as the 19 of Tooker and the 31 of Gerald Campbell on the outside are going to get a good run up off the corner and down into turn 1. Rucker in the 64 following in the tire tracks of the 25 machine, closing in quickly on the 31. 2 cars side by side here at Iowa. About the only place you really good to go 3 wide here at Iowa is through 3 and 4. The entry into turn 1 for that 3rd lane has a big old bump in it, can upset a car very easily. Not for the faint of heart to try and go 3 wide. Meanwhile, the 12 machine of Damian Leininger on the inside of the 42 of Thomas George. Jared Rexing in the 10 machine, up into 8th place. Rexing tucking in behind the 23 of Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting going high, Rexing down low through 3 and 4. Rexing not able to get the run he needs. Joshua Furr in the 25, losing another spot. He's going to settle into 6th place. Meanwhile, Adams and Frankenfield are going at it for the race lead. The 15 on the outside. Adams trying to squeeze him a little bit. Frankenfield having to lift. And Adams defending that spot by making that 95 very wide. Worked for him that lap, but not too many laps. Will that work out? Here comes the 31 of Campbell. Campbell to the inside of Frankenfield. The 15 trying to pinch him down a little bit. Side-by-side battle for 2nd place and 4th place as Rucker in the 64 underneath the 19 of Tooker. But the 64 did not get a good entry into 1, even a little bit slower coming off a 2, so he is going to be side-by-side with the 25 of Furr. Frankenfield, meanwhile, in the 15 clears Gerald Campbell. That inside lane not working too well yet. For a side-by-side battle, and the 31 is going to come up the track, make contact, and slide down to the infield, but he is down below the racing line. We do not have a caution. The 31 grabs a gear and gets rolling. So Campbell nosing into the inside wall, having some damage on the front end of that thing. No caution for him, though. And he has now got to make up a lot of lost time with a damaged race car. Meanwhile, the 95 of Adams, continuing to lead, has now led the most laps of the race so far. He has led for 14 laps. Frankenfield has led for 13. The only other leader is Clark for 1 lap as the 15 machine of Frankenfield making a move to the inside. Adams on that outside going to get a good run up off the corner, defending that spot. But Frankenfield hanging tough, and now Adams down in front of the 15. This battle for the lead really starting to heat up. Again, Chad down to the inside. Adams on the outside. But the 15 a little bit closer that time, not able to get the run he needs. He is going to lose some ground as he had a wiggle coming up off of turn 4. But now he really rolls the middle of 1 and 2 well. Gets a good run up off the corner, but then a little wiggle once again. That 15 trying very hard to make the pass. You can see he was, every time he was trying to power up, that thing was stepping out. Not something you want to do too many times. You will burn up these tires. Meanwhile, the 32 machine, Dusty Dewar, finds himself in 17th spot after getting caught up with our first incident of the night. Was that with the 3 of Scott Haney? I believe that was with the 3 of Haney. Anyways, he found a little bit of trouble early. Right now he is running in 17th spot. Right there with the 3 of Scott Haney. Haney in 16th place. You have 20 cars on the lead lap. Brent Jones in the 89 machine, the last car on the lead lap. As the 95 and the 15 continue their battle. This time the 15 had a great exit. Or I shouldn't say a great exit, but a good run through the middle of the corner. The 95 had a better exit, but the 15 hanging tough on the inside this time. And Adams in the 95 continuing to hold off the extreme pressure from the 15 of Frankenfield. Meanwhile, it looks like we have had a few more drivers with some issues. Not sure what has happened. Let's back it up a little bit. 11 in the 32. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine. Several laps down. Gonna make contact here up off the corner. And just enough to send the 32 around to bring out the caution here tonight. So just a gentle spin for Dustin Dewar in the 32. No heavy contact with the wall or anything. I don't believe Dewar even lost a position in that situation. All around for the 32. Well, as good as it can be. And you have a 5-lap down car unexpectedly get into the left rear panel. Everyone onto pit road. Tires, fuel, maybe a drink of water or an adult beverage. This is a sim. It's not illegal to drink and drive. You never know. Race off of pit road. Looks like it's going to be won by Adams. That was a very close one. Everyone else comes off of pit road. We are going to step away for just a moment, guys. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Elite Racing League Joint APS Cup Series Iowa 200 at Iowa Speedway. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight. Hope you all are enjoying the show. We are working lap 41 of 200. Seen some great racing so far here tonight. Adams in the 95, Frankenfield in the 15, going to make up row number 1 for this restart. Josh Furr in the 25 and the 64 of Andrew Rucker making up row number 2. The drivers work their way off of turn number 4, pace car down and away. Adams on the same tire strategy. The 15 of Frankenfield, he did spin his tires there. That cost him just a little bit of ground, and Adams has a clean entry into the corner. Burr in the 25, not getting the run up off the corner of turn 2. Rucker in the 64 trying to make something happen in that outside lane. As we go on board with the 62, or I'm sorry, the 64. Woo! I am having a dyslexic night tonight. The Rucker into 3rd place, using the high lane through 3 and 4. Frankenfield all the way down to the yellow line. 2 very different lines. High atop the blimp, you can see a lot of drivers getting a single file. As I say that, Dallas Myhand in the 41 trying to make a move on the 7. Josh Personette. Personette on that high line. The 41 almost getting into him as he washed up a little bit. Now Personette able to power up and make the pass. Here comes the 26 of Riggs, also getting around. Also making the pass on Dallas Myhand. Clark in that 28 machine running a new paint scheme here tonight. Change the colors up a little bit of different paint on that base layer. Still having that VT on the hood. Dallas Myhand into 11th. Clark, who stayed out early on to lead a lap and gave up a lot of track position to do it, now finds himself making his way back into the top 10. Looking through the field here, trying to find some interesting action. The 12 machine of Damian Leininger gonna make the pass on the 87 of Richard Hines. Rexing in the 10 machine now diving down to the inside of Hines. So Jared Rexing in the 10. Trying to move forward, one of our chase contenders. Adams, though, on those fresher tires, survived the onslaught from the 15. Well, I shouldn't say on fresher tires. The 95 of Adams survived the onslaught of the 15, who was on fresher tires during that last run. Now that he is on the same lap tires as Frankenfield, does have a bit of a gap here that he is working with. David Tooker in the 19 machine. Qualified front row outside. Right now is rounding out your top 5 in the running order. Adams, Frankenfield, Rucker, Furr, and Tooker. Taking up our top 5 for the moment. Chuck Sweeking, the 23 machine, finding himself in 6th place. 42 of George, who is involved in our first incident of the night. He has made his way up to 7th place. 42 hounding the 23 machine. '31 of Campbell, who we saw go for a spin. A spin that did not bring out the caution as he was down below the racing line when he came to a stop. Finds himself in 19th place, last car on the lead lap. First car one lap down is the 89 of Brent Jones. A few other damaged machines, that is the 83 of Stephen McGough and the 32 of Dustin Dewar. Dewar right now battling with the 20 of Shane DiMantova. Shane is scored in 22nd spot, is 16 laps down. McGough in the 83 is in 15th spot, so Dewar and McGough battling for position. But DiMantova has rejoined the race here after losing several laps on a little bit fresher tires than everyone else. Meanwhile, Frankenfield in the 15, starting to reel in Adams for the race lead. These two have pulled away from our third place driver. That is the 64 of Andrew Rucker. Alice Myhan in the 41, the 12 of Damian Leininger, and the 10 of Jared Rexing. For a moment, I thought we were going to see some three-wide action coming off of turn number 4. That has settled itself out. Alice Myhan in the 41 machine, 12 of Leininger, with Rexing in the 10 right on that yellow line. Meanwhile, David Tooker in the 19 going way up high in turn 1, trying to make a run happen down the backstretch. Joshua Furr in the 25, sitting in 4th place. And Rucker in the 64 has a whole lot of hungry cars behind him. Rucker in 3rd place. Five cars right there. That is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And now the 25 of Furr making a move on to the inside. Dives it down deep into turn 1. Slides up in front of the 64 to complete the pass. But here comes the 64 with the run down the backstretch. Checks up a little bit, decides he doesn't have anything for him just yet. And now the 19 of Tooker gonna try and make a move. The 64 is gonna lose 2 spots in 1 lap. Here comes Thomas George in the 42. He's gonna try and drive it in deep. George in the 42, not able to make anything happen there. Tooker maybe gonna lose a spot to the 23 of Sweeting. Trent Jones in the 89 machine on pit road with the hood up. He has got something going on. But Brent Jones losing time. He is being serviced by his pit crew. Here comes the 7 of Josh Personette, though. He's going to try and make this a 6-car battle. Personette started 13th. slowly working his way forward. Right behind him is the 26 of Tyler Riggs. Riggs in ninth place, and rounding out your top 10 is the 28 of Clark. Clark now under pressure from the 12 of Leininger. Leininger making a move down to the inside of turn number 1 with Dallas Myhan taking a peek at that middle lane. And Leininger completes the pass on Clark. We want to give a shout out and a thank you to everyone joining us here tonight. Greatly appreciate it, especially seeing Michael Goodman out here in YouTube chat. Michael, I know you'd rather be out. Oh, it's the 41 of Myhan. Almost got in a 10 of Rexing. Close moment there as the 41 is going to lose the spot. But Mr. Goodman, I know you'd rather be out on track. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Hope you're enjoying the show. Well, Joshua Furr in third place has got to make up a 3.2-second gap to second place. That is Frankenfield in the 15, just ahead of him. Adams continuing to lead. Adams getting ready to lead his 57th lap of the race. 100 laps, our scheduled distance here tonight. Adams, a chase driver. Take that back. Adams was going to be a chase driver, but he gave up his spot in the chase. From the 95, trying to play spoiler to our chase contenders by trying to win this thing. Campbell in the 31. Damage now going a lap down. First and only car in the 1 lap down category. Matthew Weeks in the 11, still 5 laps down. He's the spot. Weeks was the first car 1 lap down for a while. Now has seen his chance getting the wave around go up and vote as the 31. Now the first car 1 lap down. Meanwhile, the battle here continuing to rage on. Burr and the 25 machine holding on to third place, pulling away from this pack of drivers a little bit. Sweeting in the 23 has a bit of a gap as the 40 of George and Rucker are going at it. That is a battle for 5th place. George in the 42 has it by a nose, but a big wiggle for him coming off of turn 2. Broke his momentum. 64, Rucker gets in the wall through 3 and 4. And now the 42 and 64 are going to make contact. They touch again. This time they get separated before things got too far out of hand. And the 42 of George going to make the pass this time. So George moving into 5th place. That's the sights on the 23 is Sweeting. Rucker in the 64 takes us for a ride here with our gyro cam. Rucker down to that yellow line through 1 and 2. George way up high through the corner. And Tooker in the 19 going to take advantage of that as he is going to roll that high side. Comes the 7 of Personette as well. The Personette and the 7 machine moving into 7th place. Damian Leininger in the 12 and Tyler Riggs in the 26 now set their sights on trying to work around the 64 Rucker. Rucker was quick at the start of this run, but maybe has abused his tires a bit much as he is trending in the wrong direction. Riggs gonna make the pass on him here, so move Riggs into 8th. Rucker gonna lose another spot to the 12 of Leininger here if he is not careful. Rucker going way up high. Rexing in the 10 as Leininger in the 12 had a strange exit off the corner. Not sure what happened to the 12 there. Maybe trying to catch the car as I was looking away for just a moment down at my notes. Leininger in the 12 machine came in this event 10th place in the point standings, one of our chase contenders. Jared Rexing in the 10, also a chase contender. Every position matters for these drivers. And Rucker is going to lose a spot to the 12 this time. Rexing in the 10 with the run on the inside as well. Ooh, hold your breath there as they almost got into each other. Jared Rexing in the 10 down to the inside. Rexing tried to put the power down, a little bit of a wiggle coming off a 2. That is going to slow him up just a hair down the backstretch. This time Rexing gets the power down and makes the pass. The 64 Rucker, though, says not so much without a fight as he dives down to the inside. Meanwhile, the battle at the front of the field, Adams has a half-second lead over Frankenfield. Meanwhile, George in the 42 machine trying to make a move on the 25 of Josh Furr. Furr goes way up high. George with the run off the corner makes the pass. Now he has to deal with the lap car of Gerald Campbell. Campbell goes way up high. George completing the pass on Campbell. No problems there. You have a new third place driver. That is the 23 of Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting working his way into turn 3. A lot of drivers in practice. We're not sure if that high lane gonna work here tonight or not. And I would say that it looks like it's working. Almost all the drivers here on this long green flag run starting to use that higher lane, especially in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, we've seen a lot of drivers dive in deep down to the bottom of 1 and 2. 25 machine of Joshua Furr making a pit stop. We could see green flag pit stops here. Furr possibly starting the cycle, and a few more on the pit road as well. Dallas Myhand in the 41, Tyler Riggs in the 26. Didn't yet mention it, but about 80 laps of fuel is available here tonight. But tire fall off, something to deal with as well. Adams, our race leader, his best lap was a 22.886. This time around, that 95 machine is going to turn a lap of 24.53 to almost 2 seconds, as he has completed 53 laps since his last time on pit road. with 80 laps of fuel available, roughly 80, depending on how much you can save, how aggressive you get with the throttle. That means nobody can make it from here. Need to go another 40 laps or so, and no one can make it that far, except for the handful of drivers who have already short pitted. Dallas Myhan in the 41, one of those drivers. Myhan going to get back one of 2 laps he lost during that green flag pit stop. Go on board with Dallas Myhan. That is Adams, your race leader, in the shot behind you. Andrew Rucker in the 64 coming up and rejoining the race after making pit stop. Six laps away from the halfway point. 64 and the 28 on those fresh tires. You see how much faster it makes you. But the 95 and the 15 continue to cycle around out there. '25 of Joshua Furr, of the drivers who have made pit stops, is in front of all of them. See how much time he can gain on the leaders with this early pit stop if it works to favor 87 of Richard Hines, bringing it on to pit road. Going to be serviced by his pit crew. Now it looks like the 95 not slowing down to hit pit road just yet. I look at my score sheet here, trying to look and see what's going on, who is pitted, who is not. We're down to 11 drivers who have not made a pit stop just yet. That 11th place driver going to the 32 of Dustin Dewar. So Dustin into 11th place. Scott Haney just in front of him in the 3 machine. Another driver who has not made his pit stop just yet. Haney started 17th. Right now, during this flag pit stop cycle, finds himself in 10th. The 10 machine of Jared Rexing, chase contender. Ooh, Rexing, little sideways coming up off the corner. Tyler Riggs in the 26, a driver who has made his pit stop. Closing in very quickly, down on the inside here, using those fresh tires to his advantage. But Riggs in that 26 machine, going to have to buy some mashed taters and turkey and some gravy for his body shop guys. That 26 has seen better days. That might be a body they just throw away. But Riggs holding on to a good run here despite the damage. Having made this early pit stop, could play dividends for him. We will have to see how this plays out. Adams continuing to lead, now has a 1.7 second lead over Frankenfield in the 15. Chad Frankenfield led for the first 13 laps. And Adams has taken over the leader duties since then. But the 15 being very careful on throttle, working that car, trying to stretch his tank as far as possible. Dustin Dewar still has not come down pit road. Scott Haney yet to make his pit stop. The 86 of Ethan Reisner. Haven't talked a lot about Reisner here yet tonight. Reisner started 14th, right now finds himself in 9th place. We have had 22 drivers in this race here tonight. 23 were scheduled to start. Chris Jordan scored in 23rd place, unable to make the start of tonight's event. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine, having some issues with his equipment before the race started. Lost 5 laps very early. Now the 11 machine has been on pit road with the hood up for the last 6 minutes. Now finds himself 21 laps down and continuing to lose time on pit road. Dane G. Mantova in the 20 machine. Right now he is 17 laps down. He's had his fair share of issues. He spent a lot of time on pit road as well. Brent Jones in 20th spot. Right now Jones is 12 laps down. You can see he has had a better looking car. Have had to pull the hood off of that thing, but he continues to drive out there. I always appreciate a no-quit attitude, no matter what you are going through. Brent Jones, Shane D. Mantova, 2 drivers exhibiting that no-quit attitude. Reisner is going to work his way past the 89. Yeah, Reisner with a new paint job out here, white and blue, very stout. Richard Hines in the 87. Currently in 19th place, laps down. As Chad Frankenfield has made his way onto pit road. So the 15 coming around to hit his pit stall. Into his pit box. This is going to be the break he needs. Try and make something happen with the 95 of Adams, as Adams is really in the middle of a exchange here. He is able to get through it cleanly. Haney and Riggs almost make contact. Haney in the 3 machine, a driver who has not hit pit road just yet. Riggs, who was last on pit road 25 laps ago. Going to make the pass for position on Haney. And Riggs now as the first car 1 lap down. He is going to try and unlap himself. But the 95 of Adams continuing to cycle around out there. Ooh, it's Haney in the 3 is going to make a hard left turn through that inside wall, and the caution is going to come out as the 3 got loose coming off the corner, and Scott Haney's engine is smoking. The 3 machine bringing out the yellow here, and this is really going to change things up as we go to our turn 3 instant replay. Go high atop the blimp here as you see the 3 get loose coming off the corner, smashing the inside wall, and just getting into the racing line or the racing surface to bring out the yellow. But Adams in the 95, who stayed out and not come down pit road just yet, is going to capture a lot of cars, 1 lap down, and now he is able to make his pit stop. Thomas George in the 42 entering pit road in 2nd place. One driver this looks like it will hurt be the 15 of Frankenfield, as he was setting himself up with that short pit to be able to make the pass, but that gets wiped away with this caution. And Adams easily winning the race off the pit road. George going to come off 2nd. Tooker 3rd. Leininger, Personette counting out your top 5. Wiesner in the 86 come off 7th. .32 of Dustin Dewar going to be coming down pit road this time. Jared Rexing also hitting pit road. Bad news for Rexing as well. We have now caught a lot of drivers between the pace car and our race leader. Adams is your race leader. Dallas Myhan, Joshua Clark, Andrew Rucker, Chad Frankenfield, and Chuck Dean all trapped between the pace car and our race leader. We are going to have to take the wave around. Dallas Myhan will be hurt by this wave around. He will be on 30 lap old tires. Clark and Rucker on 26 lap old tires. Frankenfield though, not too bad a shape. He was just on pit road when the yellow happened. So Adams, your race leader. His only challenger so far tonight had been the 15 of Frankenfield. But with this caution, that is going to set Frankenfield deep in the field. Now we're going to get some fresh blood with the 42 and the 12 making their way into the top spots here tonight for the first time. George and the 42 have been steadily marching forward Leininger was a little bit further behind, but going to have a good shot at a run here for the race lead. David Tooker in the 19, no slouch himself. Started front row outside for tonight's event, now finds himself second row inside for this restart. Pace car getting ready to peel off. Down and away, and Adams in the 95 with a great jump on George in the 42. Down into turn one, Adams with the clear advantage. Hooker and Leininger side by side into turn three. Leininger up on top. Fresh tires here for all these drivers. Good play to their advantage. One driver who is hurting for tires, that is the 41 of Dallas Myhan. Joshua Clark also in that boat along with Andrew Rucker, so we'll keep an eye on them for when they will have to hit pit road. Right now they are 11th, 12th, and 13th place. Chuck Sweeting, a driver who has fresh tires in that 23 machine, easily making the pass on them. Sweeting had just made his way off the pit road when the caution flag came out. Did take the wave around to get back on the lead lap. You can see he is on lap 8 with his tires. Myhan on lap 37. Big difference there, and you can see how it works for the 23 pulling away from that group. Rucker in the 64 is the last car on the lead lap. He is in 14th spot. Stephen McGough in the 83 machine, the first car one lap down. Everything very jumbled up here as McGough has an internet connection issue. Little blinky there. 10 of Jared Rexing being trapped one lap down now. Ace contender having some issues. So Rexing in the 10 gonna have to work through that. Gerald Campbell in the 31 also finding himself behind the 8 ball. Saw Campbell go for a spin that did not bring out the caution. However, the caution came out not too long after that. But Campbell heavily damaged, not having the same car underneath him he did at the start of the race, or I should say before he went that spin and tagging the inside wall. Frankenfield in the 15, trying to make a pass on the Frankenfield's gonna go for a spin. He came up the track trying to put the power down, lightly tapping the 32, but that was enough to send the 15 down through the grass on the front stretch. No caution coming out. Chad Frankenfield gonna lose a spot to Chuck Sweeting as that happened. Only one spot lost for the 15. But a good heads-up drive there by the 15 to keep it off the inside wall. Gathers himself back in and gets back out there. Gonna have to make up some more lost ground. Chuck Sweeting in the 23 machine, finding himself in 10th spot. Dustin Dewar just ahead of him in the 32, now into 9th place. The Dewar having a solid run here. Eighth place is going to go to the 86 of Ethan Reisner. Reisner enjoying a 3.5 second lead over the 32 of Dewar. You ride on board with the 32 machine. Reisner in the 86. White and blue with the powder blue wheels. A very stark looking car here tonight for that 86. He finds himself in 8th place right now. Just ahead of Dewar is the 26 machine of Tyler Riggs. Riggs in 7th place has had a rough night. Heavy damage on the 26 machine. He continues to drive around, and right now finding himself in 7th place. Not a bad run going. We have about 66 laps left to go in this event here tonight. Sixth place, the 25 machine of Josh Burr. Burr, who we have seen battle inside the top 5, now finding himself just outside the top 5 as he is battling with the 7 of Josh Personette. Personette down on the inside, and Burr and Personette going to swap positions with the 7, falling to 6th place. Burr once again back into the top 5. Personette started 13th place here tonight, now finding himself in 6th. Try to go through our lead lap cars. David Tooker in the 19 machine, finding himself in 4th place. He is battling with the 12 of Damian Leininger. This battle has been going on since the restart. Leininger been able to fend off the 19, but Tooker in that 19 continuing to hound Damian Leininger. Leininger really using that high lane along with Tooker. They're closing in on the 31 of Campbell. Campbell diving down to the inside, trying to stay out of the way here. Meanwhile, 2nd place is the 42 of Thomas George. George, who was involved in our first incident of the night, turn 1, lap 2. George finding himself just about a half second off the race lead. To look out the nose of this machine, your race leader just ahead of him. That is the 95 of Adams. Adams, who has led for 126 laps here tonight, has secured the most laps led, setting himself up very well to gain as many points as possible in this event, the opening round of the chase. Although Adams, not a chase contender, as I mentioned, he had a spot, but backed out of it. Of the 95, peeling away a win, and you're in position for the moment. George in the 42. Chase driver would like to find a way around the 95 and pick up the first win in this round and not have to worry about anything else till we get to round number 2. Speaking of our rounds, round number 1 will consist of Iowa, which, as you can see, we are at. Our next race will be happening December 11th for the Elite Joint APS at the Glen. Watkins Glen will be our next race. That is December 11th. That is the 2nd race in the Elite Chase Round 1. Our 3rd race will be happening at Kansas Speedway for the Kansas at Mega Driver 86 Royals 200. That is my home NASCAR track. So I am very excited for that race. Kansas, another track where we might see drivers rim riding like we do here at Iowa. But for the moment, I'm dropping down to the inside. Kansas Speedway will be the third and final race in round number 1 of our Elite Chase. Round 2 going to consist of Homestead, Miami, Rockingham Speedway, and ISM Raceway at Phoenix. And our final race of the season, our Championship 4. This field of 14 drivers gets whittled down to 9 and then down to 4. That's going to happen at Gateway. But that is what our chase looks like here for the Elite Chase. Elite Racing League Join APS Cup Series. Having a spectacular showing here at Iowa, though, a race very fitting for round 1 of the chase. So Adams and George continue to run first and second. Frankenfield in the 15, who had made contact with the 32 of Dewar, lost some ground, has managed to get around the damaged 32 machine of Dewar. Dewar, oh, he's in trouble. He got loose coming off of turn 2. He is still chasing that thing, still into trouble. Gets into the outside wall, no yellow just yet. And Dustin Dewar grabs a gear, gets rolling. He is adding a little bit more damage to that thing. The 20 of Shane DiMantova going around. So Dewar, who has had his fair share of excitement tonight, now pulls it down to the infield and is going to pull on to pit road. So a good run going for the 32. Looks to be spoiled as he got loose coming off of turn 2. Faced that car all the way down the backstretch and through turns 3 and 4. Do want to do a bit of housekeeping here. Give you some rundown here. Only 10 cars are on the lead lap. Chad Frankenfield in that 10th spot. The first car 1 lap down is the 28 of Josh Clark. So Clark finding himself caught up in that green flag pit stop cycle, and the caution flag flew. He has not been able to work his way back onto the lead lap. Same situation for the 10 of Jared Rexing. Rexing right now in 12th place. Stephen McGough in 13th in the 83 machine. Those 3 drivers, Clark, Rexing, and McGough, are all 1 lap down. 14th place, that is the 41 of Dallas Myhan. We saw him take the wave around. He has had to make a green flag pit stop since then. Is now 2 laps down. 15th spot, that is the 31 of Gerald Campbell. Campbell, another driver, 2 laps down, along with the 87 of Richard Hines. And Hines and Rucker are battling for position. Rucker in 17th place, now 16th, as he makes the pass on Hines. Those drivers, 14th through 17th place, are 2 laps down. The 32 of Dustin Dewar, who we just saw, add some more damage to that brightly colored orange machine. Made a pit stop to hammer out some damage. Got back out there. he finds himself 3 laps down. Green machine of Scott Haney, who got sideways coming off of turn 2, nosed into the inside wall with heavy damage, popped an oil line. That on pit road, repaired that oil line. The smoke was billowing out of that machine, and he has gotten back out there. He is now 5 laps down. And the final car still running, that is the 20 machine of Shane DeMantova. He is 18 laps down and on to pit lane to be serviced by his pit crew. 2 drivers who started this race have gone behind the wall and have called it a night. 89 of Brent Jones will be scored in 21st spot. Brent actually checking in on YouTube as well. They finally decided to call it a night. Mad at myself for getting into the marbles lap 2, having nowhere to go. Yeah, Brent, tough call there. Going up high into turn 1 to avoid an incident, and sliding up into you. Very difficult situation there to try and get out of. In the 11 of Matthew Weeks, scored in 22nd spot. His night didn't start off well, not gonna finish well either. 11 machine done for here in 22nd place. That covers everyone through the field here tonight. They had 22 drivers take to the track. 20 drivers still out there running. Adams, your race leader, has put in a dominating performance, is on his way to leading 3/4 of this event. Has done 149 laps out front. His time by will make it officially 150 of 200 laps led. I'll tell you, that is a lot of time to be out front here at Iowa. Adam said that this was his favorite track. Felt he had the best shot at winning here. Now he is going to try and pull it off the 15 of Frankenfield and made a green flag pit stop. Unlaps himself for 1 lap. However, he still finds himself 1 lap down, but he is moving. You can see the difference of 4 fresh tires. 15, 1 lap down in the 13th spot. Chad Frankenfield, our pole sitter for tonight. Strategy has not gone his way. Or I should say the cautions have not fallen his way. Not caught that green flag pit stop cycle. Adams in the 95, trying to enjoy a 1/8 of a second lead. Dallas Myhan in the 41, hounding him to get a lap back. Myhan does dive down to the inside. Puts the power down, slides up in front of Adams. Adams has to take an evasive move to pass him back. Things getting dicey for the drivers trying to get back on the lead lap. Adams, though, tucks in behind Myhan in the 41 as they work through 3 and 4. With 31 laps to go, Adams is looking at the possibility of making it without another pit stop. However, that is a possibility. It is going to be a stretch. We have 30 laps to go. Adams last on pit road 53 laps. Everyone said about 80 laps on a fuel run. What does about mean? That is what we need to find out. Because if it's about 80 laps, 83 falls into about. However, if it's about 80, and they mean 78 laps, the 95 is going to fall a little bit short. You're going to have to make a pit stop here if this thing stays green the rest of the way. Ethan Reisner in the 86 machine. Last car on the lead lap. Finds himself about 13 seconds off the race leader. That's just over half a lap behind. He's got plenty of time to work with where he has to worry about going a lap down. You gotta wonder, someone like Reisner, before he gets any further behind our race leader, could he come down pit road, grab some fuel, know that he is good to go, covers himself for even a green-white checkered attempt? However, even if we had a green-white checkered attempt, let me think this through out loud. Even if we had a green-white checkered attempt, it would mean the caution flag would come out. Everyone would have to hit. But do you take the gamble, try and pit, know that you have enough fuel? Frankenfield in the 15 has made his pit stop. So he will be able to make it all the way should we not see another caution. How will that play out for the 15? Several other drivers who will be good to go as well. The 41 of Dallas Myhan, Andrew Rucker. They all are set for fuel to the end of this thing. David Tooker in the 19. Ooh, Leininger is going to get into the wall a little bit. Getting ready to say Tooker, who hounded the 12 for several laps, has managed to get around him. Now Leininger finding himself in 4th place. Personette in the 7 machine. Rounds out your top 5 with Josh Furr in the 25 machine in 6th place. Jared Rexing, still the first car 1 lap down in the 10 machine. He is right there with these guys, but 1 lap off the pace. Frankenfield in the 15, having about 40 lap fresher tires, is closing in on Rexing quite quickly. That will be a pass for position as you see the 15 dive in deep through 3 and 4. Our aerial coverage for the Elite Racing League brought to you by joinaps.com. Frankenfield didn't really know what those fresh tires do. He works by the 7 and 25 with no sweat. And now Frankenfield is the first car 1 lap down. Does have a little bit of work cut out for him. About 8 seconds to the race leader to unlap himself. Just closing in very quickly on him. The 42 of Thomas George has fallen back to almost a 2-second gap. Right now it is sitting at a 1.7 second gap to our race leader. And I wonder if the 42 has decided to try and save a little bit of fuel, stretch this thing, We are inside 20 laps to go. George, sitting in second place, finds himself surrounded by cars that are not on the lead lap, so he has got to tread carefully. The Go has been damaged in that 83 machine. Go finding himself fourth place, 2 laps down. The 20 is Shane DiMantova. Been behind the wall several times here tonight. 19 laps down. Andrew Rucker in the 64. Slowly pulling away from George in the 42. As McGo's going to get into the wall. Almost got into DiMantova. But the 83 sorts it out. Stay green. But a hold your breath moment right there for sure. But your race leader, Josh Adams, can he make it on fuel? Looking at 14 laps to go. Working a 2.2 second lead now. And you have to wonder, can make it? As fast, as dominant as he has been, how much fuel has he used? And again, keep in mind, my information says about 80 laps. We have 13 laps to go. Should we finish this thing without a caution, that will be 83 laps since the 95 last hit pit road. As DiMantova in the 20 machine to make a move to the inside here to get one of his many laps back. The 28 of Clark also right there trying to get a lap back. Clark in 16th spot. 3 laps down, now make it 2 laps down as he gets his way around the 95. So Clark, who was one of the drivers who got caught out in that green flag pit stop cycle caution. I need to come up with a better way to say that. But the laps are winding down very quickly for our drivers. We have 7 drivers who have all made the same strategy last on pit road 72 laps ago. Chuck Sweeting in the 23 machine, he finds himself in 8th place. He was last on pit road 75 laps ago. So a little bit longer for the 23 of Sweeting. Can he make it the rest of the way? As Personette and Furr battle for 5th place. Tyler Riggs in the 26 right there as well. Who is Sweeting? Lewis coming off of turn 2. 5 cars right there, all battling for position. Sweeting gonna make a move. Well, I shouldn't say all. Finn of Rexing does find himself 1 lap down. He's got as much right to try and go as fast as possible as any of these other drivers. He is right there as well. But Furr in the 25, finding himself in 5th place. With 7 laps to go. None of these guys have hit pit road or made a hint at trying to hit their pit stall. I don't know, guys. This one's going to be close. It is going to come down to the wire, I am sure. If Adams in that 95 can make it, he does have a 2.5 second lead over George. So a bit of a gap that he can try and save some fuel. But this time around will be 5 laps to go. The 15 of Frankenfield is a driver I know can make it. Finds himself in 10th place, getting ready to get back on the lead lap. So the 15 is good on fuel. The 95 is questionable. So first to 9th place, all questionable on fuel. It is going to be very close as to whether or not they can make it. If they cannot and this stays green, the 15 of Frankenfield has a commanding lead over Dallas Myhan, who is another driver who can make it on. But with 3 laps to go, we go on board with Adams. Rucker in the 64 trying to get a lap back. Rucker does find himself 2 laps down. But now 2 laps to go. You gotta believe that Adams thinks he can make it. Adams going way up high. He is going to let drivers by. George in the 42, almost 3 seconds behind him. We get the white flag, 1 to go, presented by joinaps.com. And Adams, for the final time here in Iowa, works his way down the backstretch. Doesn't show any signs of losing fuel pressure. And here comes the 95. And Adams, off of turn number 4, is going to win Elite Chase Round 1, Race 1. And he had plenty of fuel to get it done. And that's why I'm in the broadcast booth. I am not smart enough for this stuff. Adams wins the race. George in second. Third place going to the 19 of David Tooker. Leininger finishing 4th, and rounding out your top 5 will be the 25 of Josh Burr. What a wonderful race it was here at Iowa, as the 95 of Josh Adams celebrates his victory. While we watch him celebrate, he's got enough fuel to do all the donuts he wants. We're gonna step away from the mics. We will set up our turn 3 post-race show. No one go anywhere. Stick around to hear from our podium finishing drivers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are here with our race winner. That is the 95 of Josh Adams. Adams, what a great run you had out there tonight. Led 186 laps. Tell us about your run here at Iowa.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Running 170 or so laps under green at Iowa with I don't know how many cars we had, 23 cars or so is pretty remarkable. I'd say this is probably the place to race right now, but the race is really fun. It was tough. Car changed a lot. It was tight, loose. I thought I gave it away in qualifying, or gave up a shot in qualifying because I didn't put a time in. and took a gamble staying out there early and got the track position. Just really never looked back.
Well, the 95 had that long green flag run, and all my information said about 80 laps of fuel. And you managed to go 83 that time to finish the race. Tell us, how close were you on fuel out there tonight?
I had 3 laps coming across the line, so definitely glad they brought the caution out when they did. I think we would have all liked to see it go green like all the way. That would have been really cool, but if they would have brought that caution out 3 or 4 laps sooner, it would have been pretty great.
Well, a great run by the 95. You had a chase berth, so to speak, but you politely backed out of it. But you win the race here at Iowa. Do you want to shed any light on what was your decision making skills there to decide not to run the chase here?
Oh yeah, I don't know how many. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys know. I work at Best Buy, so everybody knows. Tomorrow, Friday, next couple weeks are gonna be pretty crazy for me. So I couldn't make last week. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make this week. It was kind of up in the air. So I just decided to let somebody in there that could guarantee they could run all the races, and I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to take it away from somebody if I could only make like half of them or something.
Well, a very polite move by you to do that. But man, congratulations on the race win out here tonight. Any shout outs or thank you, sponsors, mom, dad, family, aunts, uncles, cousins?
Thank Rusty Wallace for building the place. Bright Lights, Damien, Jared, we had good runs tonight. Try and win some more races, make them finish second for the championship, try and win that finale.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you. I used to work at Best Buy, so I know what you're getting ready to face, man. I do not miss those days there.
Yeah, thank you.
That is our race winner, Josh Adams, with a dominating performance here tonight. Got it done with 3 laps of fuel left, so it wasn't as close as I thought, but still very close one for sure. Now it's time to move on to our second place finisher. That is none other than Mr. Thomas George in the 42. George, tell us a little bit about your race out there tonight.
Well, let's see. I got dumped on lap 2. Had to go to the back. Had to fight my way back up front. Meanwhile, guys were burning off their tires, so trying to fight them, and I basically would just work my way back up to top 4, top 5, and got the lucky caution. Just needed the 95 to get caught too, but what can you do?
Yeah, that caution that came out was a wild one during those green flag pit stops. But your race started off with a bang, so to speak. That 42 found trouble very early on. What was your car like this entire race?
No, I hated it. it doesn't. It don't drive well here during the daytime. It's sliding all over the place. So vintage NASCAR, I guess, but I'm pretty good about saving my tires. So I was trying to do that with the 95 there, and we were basically even for the most part. So it just came down to who made a mistake first, and I didn't make any mistakes, but I guess lap traffic decided they wanted to race us, even though they were a lap down, which that's in their right. They're going for position too, but I knew once I lost time letting them by it, that was pretty much game over unless the caution came out.
Well, George, Mr. George, a eventful race here at Iowa, but as a elite chase contender, had the highest finish spot of all your competitors. How does this feel for the opening round?
It's a good result, all things considering. I knew last week I didn't do myself any favors with what I did in Atlanta, but I felt like in Atlanta I had to do what I had to do because the guy tried to wreck me 4 times. So I served my suspension for Daytona and lost, a points advantage that I had built up over the season. So, I mean, second place is a good points tonight regardless, and puts us above the cut line, especially going into Watkins Glen and Kansas. And I feel I can have a good strong run at Watkins Glen. Kansas, depending on what they do with the upcoming build. I don't know. I ran there earlier this year and I didn't like it. So any good points night is a good night. You obviously want to win, and I've had fast cars close and just circumstances just not allowed it to put the car in victory lane yet. So, but we'll keep trying.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Just to all my teammates over at Steel Horse, my owner, the admins for this league, the owners of this league, and you putting on the broadcast for us.
Thank you much, Mr. George, for coming out here tonight. Thank you for sticking around for the post-race interview.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right, that is Thomas George, driver of the 42 machine. Brought it home in second place. But now it's time to talk to our third place finisher. That is none other than the 19 of David Tooker. Mr. Tooker, how you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm worn out. Oh, that was a long race, but it was a fun one.
The 19 started the race off front row outside, finishing in third. So overall losing one spot, but it seemed like you had your hands full all night long. Every time we checked in on you, you were in a battle for position. I can understand how you feel tired, but still has to feel like a great race for you from everything you went through.
Yeah, it was a really good show for me. I haven't had as much success in the Cup Series as I'd like to, but I knew coming in tonight this is one of my favorite tracks, so I had to put on a show for you guys. Yeah, like you said, I was just getting caught in battles almost every lap. It felt like towards the end, racing Damien. Shout out to him for finishing behind me. Not much of a shout out, but yeah, we had a fun battle towards the end, and I'm glad I got a top 3 out of it.
Well, that 19 machine was fun to watch all night long. Your teammates got to be happy for you. Tell us a little bit about what it took to really put this thing into third.
It all came down to that caution under pit cycles. A lot of guys that were running in front of me got caught I can't even think of the words. I have a lot of energy and I'm just worn out. But a lot of guys just got caught a lap down because of that mid race or mid pit stop caution. It's really put me in position there. I know that caution really helped me, Josh, and Thomas to finish where we were. So I feel bad for those guys that got caught up in it. I know Joshua Clark, my teammate, he caught the bad end of the deal, but it's still a solid showing for us.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on third place. Any special thank yous you feel you need to give right now?
Yeah, just this whole Pro Edge racing group. It was not our typical day. Josh getting caught a lap down. Zeus, I don't know what happened. I guess he fell asleep before the race. He started the race 6 laps down, but this group, we work really hard every weekend trying to make sure that we're the fastest team out there, and we're slowly getting there and getting the results that we need to show that we're here and we're ready to fight.
Well, man, again, congratulations on the third place. Thank you very much for sticking around for the interview.
No problem, man. Thank you.
That is David Tooker, third place finisher here tonight. So, guys, nothing left for us here but to go through our results at Iowa. Joshua Adams led 186 laps, brings it home with a commanding win tonight. Thomas George in the 40 finishing second. Third place going to David Tooker. Got to hear from all three of those guys. Very much appreciated for that post race show. Damon Leininger in the 12 machine going to finish fourth place. Fifth going to Josh Furr. Chuck Sweeting in the 23 machine finishing sixth. Seventh, Josh Personette. Tyler Riggs in the 26 going to finish eighth. Ninth going to Ethan Reasoner. Chad Frankenfield going to bring it home in 10th spot. 11th going to Jared Rexing. 12th will be Dallas Myhan. 13th, Andrew Rucker. Stephen McGove finishing 14th. 15th going to the 28 of Josh Clark. Harold Campbell in the 31 machine finishing in 16th spot. 17th going to the 32 of Dustin Dewar. 87 machine piloted by Richard Hines finishing in 18th spot. Got Haney finishing 19th. 20th going to Shane DeMantova. 21st, Brent Jones. 27th, 22nd going to Matthew Weeks. And Chris Jordan, who was unable to turn a lap here tonight, with third spot. That is going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. I have been your host and glad to do it. We were witness to an amazing race at Iowa. Like I said, Iowa never disappoints. Once again, it was an exciting event. So that will do it for us, guys. Make sure you join us, like I said, December 11th for round 2, or race 2 in round 1, as the Elite Chase continues on at Watkins Glen. That will be the Elite Join APS at the Glen. Hope to see you all there. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you all had a wonderful time, and I will see you next time.